Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Real Estate Confidant. I am your host, Mike Razor, here in New York City. It's starting to warm up, people. It's starting to warm up. Hopefully, you guys see it. Let me turn this over a little bit so y'all can see the little view I got going on. Listen, something came across the desk this morning. It was for the Rob Report, right? It's about a Chicago penthouse that's still seeking a buyer at $8.5 million. If you have it, maybe you want to check it out. Originally owned by banker George Woodruff and first listed a little over 3 years ago for $17 million. The circa 1920s property offers a garden terrace and sweeping views of Lake Michigan. Now I'm looking at pictures. I'm gonna see if I could pull a picture up or something and put it over in this corner. But the rooftop is it's talking King Lear style, okay? Let me save this. So I'm saving this right now. Let me read a little bit more. Though it's been billed as the most astonishing penthouse ever built in the city of Chicago, this eye-popping duplex remains available and unsold even after numerous price chops and years on the market. Nestled in an exclusive Rosario Candela designed pre-war building amid the city's historic Gold Coast neighborhood, the place officially hit the market with an impressive $17 million price tag back in November 2020 after being floated as an off-market listing at $24.5 million. First of all, this is a learning experience for you all who are in real estate. I understand if you trying to raise the bar, right? You want to make it an exclusive listing, okay? It's 24.5. The people that are interested in purchasing, either they want it or they don't want it, right? And I guess that I can understand why the price point was at 24.5, but guess where it's at now? It's at $8.5 million. It went from 24.5 to 17 to 8.5 million. That's embarrassing, and you all know it. It's probably multiple brokers on the listing. I don't know, maybe, right? But the point is this is a luxury property for a more seasoned individual, unless you're just a collector and you may decide to use this property for an investment where you might do business in Chicago one day and you want your client to have a place to stay. Boom. Then the client has a beautiful penthouse to stay in for the next couple days or what have you, and it's a write-off. Otherwise, things like this happen. Now, I've been in the real estate industry for a while. I think since like 2009 or something to that effect, right? And I didn't start hearing about a pocket listing, quote unquote pocket listing, until what's it called? What's that show? $1 Million Listings came out. And all of a sudden there's something called a pocket listing. Now everybody and their mother is using pocket listing. And I'm like, people, first of all, not technically pocket listing, but if you have a property that needs to be sold and the owner is trying to sell it, pocket listing is usually like a prior to sale kind of situation where if you want to get the property sold before it even goes on the market, then you could do that. Then you could try to do that. Oh, I got a listing that hasn't gone on the market yet, blah, blah, blah. But don't do that to people. Put it on the market. Put it out there. What's the problem? Well, granted, I understand. It's a marketing ploy. You're trying to make it look as if it's more exclusive than it really is. We get it. We see through it. We get it. Those of you who know anyway. Anyway, let's get back to this. So it's sited within a 57-unit co-op construction way back in the late 1920s. So the other thing, this is a co-op. I don't know how Chicago does their co-op situation, but not only if you plan on buying this with a mortgage, not only will you have to pay the mortgage, the monthly payments, you also have to pay the co-op dues and all of that stuff. So, this is definitely a unique situation, right? But, the good thing about co-ops and condos, you really don't have to worry about the upkeep per se. No, I can't say that. I can't say that. Not with condos. It depends on where you live, because some places with condos and co-ops, like the line is blurred a little bit, where condos act like co-ops, and so on and so forth. Neither here nor there. Just saying that this place, that may be the reason why it hasn't sold. Because even if you have the money to purchase this place, the co-op board is the one that makes the final decision for the most part. And then if you have this place, you have to deal with the co-op board if and when something happens. You may have to deal with maintenance fees increasing. Yeah. I can see why this thing hasn't sold yet. Who wants to deal with that stuff? It's crazy. Anyway, let's see. Last sold in the mid 1970s to Do-All Saws executive Michael Wilkie, who passed away in September of 2021 at the age of 80. The property features 6 bedrooms and 7 bathrooms and a whopping 8,000 square feet of ornate living space, accented throughout with the original limestone staircases, stained glass windows, stone friezes, hand-carved wood doors, and bronze hardware. There's also 5,000 square feet of outdoor space divided up between a fountain-clad garden, covered enclosed patio, and terrace. It's some great architecture, I can tell you that. I'm looking at the photos now. It's a 40-foot long hallway off the entry foyer, boasting walnut paneling and a decorative groin vaulted ceiling. Now, this is definitely unique. So, if you are not that old school type of individual that like real wood, you may not like this. But this is definitely old world charm type of situation. The artwork on the ceiling looks amazing, which means that it's probably going to need some upkeep. There's probably a lot of work that might need to be done as far as what's it called? Keeping up with, the things breaking in the property. Maybe the artwork might need touching up. You name it. So this is definitely unique. Anyway, if you want to see the article, ladies and gentlemen, it's on the Rob Report. At Rob Report Homes for Sale. It's interesting. The funny thing is that the photo that they used initially is the rooftop. In which, when I first looked at the article, I thought what I was seeing was like the top of a mansion. Almost like a castle. That's what it reminded me of. until you scroll down and start reading the article, and then the second picture comes in, and then you see the hallway and the this and the that, and then the building. Then you realize it's in the co-op building. It just messes it all up. Terrible. But yeah, there's a lot of different articles on real estate in the Rob Report. If you guys don't know, I would suggest you subscribe. You fill out one of those little Rob Report cards, and you could get it for like a couple dollars. And then they'll try to start charging you once the year's up. They'll try to start charging you the full price or whatever. But I like the Rob Report. It's interesting. So yeah, just one of those things I wanted to bring up. I think this is a good one. A lot of beautiful properties up here. Ooh, we got one more. Let's look at one more real quick. If you guys live in New York City, this one might be interesting for you guys. You could park a full-size SUV in the garage of this $12.5 million Manhattan carriage house, in which I have a few minutes. I'm actually going to this new wellness center called Rest Wellness, I think it is, over here by Hudson Yards. If you guys know Manhattan, and you haven't gone to the Hudson Yards mall, please do so. It's amazing. I like to take little walks sometimes through there, and Whole Foods is in the back, and But anyway, Rest is right in the vicinity, and I'm going to get some oxygen therapy and what's it called? Compression. Which I think everybody should do. Increase the oxygen in the blood cells and all of that good stuff. And it's reasonably priced too. It's reasonably priced. Maybe I'll have like a, what's it called? Maybe I'll have a like a raffle or contest or something like that, and I'll pay for somebody to get one or something. You never know. Anyway, the 6-bedroom Chelsea residence also has an income-producing 2-bedroom rental apartment. Now this is amazing. You don't normally see things like this in the city. The photos beautiful. 2 levels. Yeah, it's immaculate. It's like something out of a movie. I would choose this over the previous one, to be honest with you. It's in Chelsea, which is cool. Let me finish the article. So, the glorious 124-year-old townhouse in downtown New York City has 2 things just about every Manhattanite wants: parking and private outdoor space. That is so true. That is so true. A lot of people you guys want to get cars and stuff to drive around, and you live in New York City, that's bollocks. Unless you live in a house, live in Queens, live in Brooklyn, in various places that have the space, like you have an actual home, like a house, it makes no sense. But this place is a townhouse, and the townhouse, I'm assuming, I think it said has a outdoor space. It has parking and private outdoor space. I don't know if it's in a garage or whatever. Anyway, tucked away on West 20th Street in Chelsea, the stately 6,750 square foot residence is on the market for a cool $12.5 million. Just a cool one. Why don't you raise that price up a little bit, baby, and let's see how this thing flows. Altogether, the circa 1900 abode contains 8 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, which is not so unusual for a townhouse of this size. However, it also has a private garage big enough to store a full-size SUV. There you go, baby, the private garage. That's what I was talking about. Homes like this very rarely come to market. Listing broker is Vicky Barron of Compass, tells Rob Report. Everyone wants a private garage in 2024. It's the ultimate luxury. I don't know about the ultimate luxury. I guess that's relative. My ultimate luxury is some vanilla Swiss almond in the freezer when I get home from work, But I guess if you have a vehicle, that is the luxury because you don't have to worry about the car getting towed, cross-side parking during the morning for cleaning and all kinds of other things. It's a beautiful home, though. Even though it's circa 1900, they have done renovations. It's not ceiling to floor windows, but the windows are large enough for you to enjoy outdoor space. It looks like there's almost like a back area, like a garden area in the back, where you could have some tea, bring your friends over, that kind of thing. It's real, to me, it's real artsy. The wood floors are amazing. I don't know what type of wood it is. Maybe cedar. Maybe. The former carriage house has a few other nice perks up its sleeve too, including a European-inspired walled garden. See, multiple terraces and an income-generating two-bedroom apartment on the top floor with its own separate side entrance. Okay, which means that you're living in the garden space and the first level, and then the second level is the renter. I mean, that's great, especially if you want some extra income coming in for your pocket. And if you purchase this outright, that's even better. All you have to do is deal with the taxes and stuff like that, and upkeep. And everything is a write-off at that point because you now have an income-producing residential. Technically, if you decided that you wanted to move out and rent the whole thing, you could do that. But I think this property is so beautiful that maybe not. Maybe you don't want to. Maybe you want to have this as an option. Maybe you'll stay here during the summertime, and then in the wintertime you move to California or Florida. I know some people that have done that. They have property in Maine, and then they also have property in Florida. And when the year switches out every 6 months, they go back and forth. Amazing family, amazing people. They treated me really well when I was up in Maine. So we had some good lobsters up there. So, if you guys have never been up there, go to Maine. Make sure you bring a jacket. The beaches are immaculate. The water is amazing. Anyway, the former carriage house has a few other nice perks up its sleeve too, including a European-inspired walled garden, multiple terraces, and an income-generating two-bedroom apartment on the top floor with its own separate side entrance. Despite the 4-story, 25-foot wide pad having undergone a sleek renovation, it still offers grandeur and historic details, including decorative fireplaces, soaring ceilings, and tons of architectural built-ins. Oh my God, this is amazing. It looks like what they did was they took a space that was originally for the living room, turned it into a bedroom, and that's where the what's it called? That's where the fireplace is. Not sure if it's a working fireplace or not, but then you have steps to the garden area. Now, my only concern is when it rains. It actually should be up to code, but if it's not, that might be a problem with when you go to purchase. Just be mindful of that, because if it rains, I'm looking at the picture, it looks almost as if that water is going to flow right into this bedroom area, but I'm not sure. So maybe you want to just check it out. Let's keep going. A mezzanine level overlooking the living room comprises a media room and a children's play area. The listing suggests that the spaces are flexible. While the second floor holds the sprawling primary suite, there's a south-facing sitting room, 2 large walk-in closets, a windowed bathroom, and arguably the best feature, a 575 square foot private terrace. For additional guests and family bedrooms can be found on the 3rd floor, and the top level is, as mentioned, is currently configured as a rental apartment. Now, let me just pull back a little bit. Let me back. So you got 3 levels to yourself. You have the garden, you have the 1st floor and the 2nd floor. And then you have the rental apartment that's upstairs. So you have tons of space to have family, friends. If you have a big family, this is amazing. Amazing opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. So if you haven't checked it out, let me go back to the who is the person? Let's see. 2 bed, 2 bath, Chelsea residence on West 20th Street in Chelsea. Actually, West 20th Street in Chelsea, I know very well. It's an amazing neighborhood. So they're saying West 20th Street, but I guess the property is somewhere in that vicinity. But if you know the breakdown of New York, you know where Chelsea is. And Chelsea is only but a certain amount of blocks in the 20th, in West 20th Street. So you could kind of gauge where the property is. You don't know exactly, but you could gauge it, and you could, usually what they'll have up is a for sale sign anyway. So as you walking down West 20th Street from Chelsea Piers on down, you'll be able to see sometimes you'll be able to see the property that they're referring to. And if it has a garage, then this is it. Is this one of the only properties that have a garage? So just keep that in mind. I'm trying to find a lady. Oh, here it is. Her name is Vicky Barron, Vickey Barron of Compass. So go to Compass Realty and look up Vicky Barron. Reach out to her. She's probably going to ask you, obviously, for the usual, for this price point. They're probably going to want proof of funds. So they're going to want to see a bank statement of such, and to see what your balance is on a bank statement, or something from your attorney with the document saying how much it is, and notarized and all of that good stuff. And then I'm assuming she'd show the property, and then you make a decision. But this is an amazing home. It's beautiful. It definitely is beautiful. I can see myself living there. Especially on a quiet tree-lined street, right? And usually those blocks with the brownstones, townhomes, are very quiet, very, very quiet. And they have certain rules. You paying taxes now. When so they have rules of no honking, on those streets. I remember staying with my grandmother in two different brownstones here in New York. One when I was younger in junior high school, and one when I was in high school. And then on both streets, they had no honking signs. And I asked her about the reason why, and she said it's because of the people that own these properties pay taxes, and in paying taxes and various things, they pay the city to have the street with no parking. They pay for garbage pickup. They pay for street cleaning. All those things that you see the city doing, that's what the owners pay for. So if you ever wondering why maybe your neighborhood's not being cleaned properly, or there's honking, and that's the reason why. Because whoever owns those townhomes or buildings that in the neighborhood that you're in, they're not paying their taxes. They're not paying the bills, and that's a whole other story that I could get into. but I'd rather not. Let's matter of fact, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do a live on it, and let's see what happens. I'm gonna do a live on property ownership, residential and commercial. Now I did a previous one about who owns your bodega, and it went into a little bit about it, about how you could purchase multifamilies and the whole process that how the whole process it that entails it, but also who owns the properties in your neighborhood that you grew up in. Have you ever thought about that? It may not be your super, and various other things. Look around your neighborhood and see who owns the corner stores, the bodegas, the Chinese restaurants, to this, to that, to this, to that. And then look at who lives in the neighborhood, and do some research and find out, why is this the case? And, just to bag back, I found out that a lot of times foreign families, they'll come into the country, which is great. The United States of America, you do it legally, you come into this country legally. That's what the whole purpose of it, to give people an opportunity to become better, than they were. So, the government has a system in place that allows certain criteria to receive loans for businesses. If they're moving into as a new citizen, I think they get a new social security number, or they start off with a 6-month green card or something to that effect. Don't quote me on it. And then what they do is they have a certain amount of time to build their business and so on and so forth with the money that they receive. And then from there, they have to go back to like the embassy or somewhere and present the income that they've made. Show these people from the government that they're actually making money, they're citizens, they're this and that, and then they'll give them full residency in the United States. But understand, those same opportunities don't come for people who were born in the United States. It's a little different. It's a little trickier. And like I always say before, this thing is a chess game, and you need to know how to play it. This is why you're watching this show. Play the chess game, win the game, and move on. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that's going to be it for today. I'll talk to y'all later. This is Mike Razor on the Millionaire Morning Show. Woo! Ha! That's my